Hello everyone, this is Vinay. Welcome to my channel Learn Coding with Vinay and playlist ASP.NET Core MVC. In previous video, which is video number 6 of our Dapper series, we worked on employee create screen, just the UI part. In this video, which is video number 7, we will work on employee CRUD, saving the details to database, employee plus projects. Right. So let's move ahead. First thing we want to do over here is, first thing first is let's have the drop down in, right, for this department ID, designation ID, and let's put down project list over here, right? So for that we need to work upon few store procedures. So let's start with store procedures. So let me bring that list of store procedures that we are supposed to create. So what we need to do, we need to have a store procedure that gives us the department, right? I think we should have this. We have already worked on department CRUD, right? Then similar way, get designation, get projects, then insert sp, insert and update sp for employee, and insert sp for employee projects, right? So these are the 5 sp we are supposed to work upon. So let's move ahead. So let me go to SQL Server Management Studio SSMS. Let's run this. It's quite simple. Just bring all project data. Let me fire this, create or alter procedure name, and then the begin end. In the begin end, the select query, basically. Quite simple. So command has run successfully. Let's try it once whether it is working or not. Get all projects. So it is giving us the list of project ID, name, and the is active column. Right. Similar way, let's execute this designation, get all designation. It ran successfully. Let's test it once. Great. Right. And department we should have already. Right. Now next is we are supposed to work on the create an update of employee sp, right? USP employee upsert. So just we want to keep it consistent with the sps we created in department CRUD. So I have created it in a similar way. So basically we need to put down all possible inputs over here for employee. If id is 0 for new employee, we'll be passing id as 0. If ID is not 0, then it will go ahead and update the detail. Otherwise, it will go ahead and insert the detail. You can pause the video, check out this entire script. It's quite easy, right? So let me go ahead and run this as of now. Let me go ahead and run this. Okay, there is an already. Okay, let me actually create or alter. Mark this as create or alter. Okay, this is created. The next one we want to have is the USP employee project insert, right? So basically, whatever projects are selected from the screen, they are supposed to enter in these employee projects. So let me create this as well. I think let me write for safer side. Write this create or alter. Right. Okay. So we have everything ready. Let me test the department also once with the similar name. I think we should have it. Departments. Okay, so we have it, right? Excellent. So we have the store procedures now, created the store procedures, right? Now let's go to Visual Studio, put down required service classes and method. So let me create first the service classes because we have employee and department service already. Now we want project and designation also. So I'll have to create those interface and classes, right? And for employee projects, we'll put it down in employee service itself, right? But let me go ahead and create two interface and classes pair. First one is designation and second one is project. Let me do that in the background so that we can save the the video length. Yeah. So let me tell you what I did in the background. I created this project I service, right? Just like I department, and then I designation service. Then I created this service implementation class also. But in that, I only implemented the get all method because that's what we wanted to at this moment, right? So get all project is implemented. Let me go to designation service. Get all designation is implemented. And let me make sure the store procedure names matches actually. Get all designations. Let me just copy paste this. Control V, Control S, and let me do the similar thing for project also. So project service. Let's go ahead and add this project. Okay, so this is all good now, right? So we are basically ready with the drop downs, and department we already had the code, so no need to change anything over here. This one we already had, right? So let me close this all open file, and let's work on create get method now. So what do we need to do? We will go to employee create, and in the create get method we will have to assign this a value, right? So let's do. Okay, so I just copy pasted the code, but here we will have to, we are having error for master service. It is not master service. Let me mark this as project service, right? And let's inject it in over here. So here we need I project service. Let's give it name project service, and let me copy paste this guy two more times, one and two. Right, so this would be I department service, right? We call it depth service. Then this would be designation designation service. Again, this would be, I'll just make it a test service, and one more actually project, right? Because we need all these detail. So let's make this project service, and let's make this as proj service, right? And we'll have to inject all this over here. So I, let's say department service, depth service, and I designation service, des service, and let me just copy paste this code over again three times, and let's make this project and this project actually, right? Okay, so let me do the similar thing over here. Let me do this for department, let me do this for dash service. So this will be dept, and this will be dash. Let me save it, extra E. So now this guy will come from project service. Let me, so if it is not it is get all projects ideally. Project underscore service, it's not project actually, I just shortcut it, proj underscore service. Okay, so what I did, we are bringing the project details and we are assigning it over in available projects properties. A similar way we can use data binding using property only for designation and department also. But here I wanted to give you an example of what all possible things are there to display a drop down from the, coming from the database. So one is obviously have a dedicated property and fill that property with the required thing. Second one is, is to have a view bag or view data property. So let me work on that, and I'll explain that again. Let me just bring that code. Yeah, so let me tell you what I did. So here we will have to actually, let's say department depth service dot get all departments, right, where we have id and name, and here similar way dash service dot get all designations, and here we have id and designation name, right? And what we will be doing, we will use this view data to fill the drop down. So let me do that. So we'll just go to create VM of employee. We'll look for the drop down of designation and department, and over there we already, I think we didn't have the, even drop down, it is just the text box only. So let me bring the code for the drop down itself, right? So what we'll be doing, I think it is in end at somewhere, right? Okay, so instead of this just text box, what we'll be doing, we'll be putting down the select list, and instead of this form control we'll have form mark as form select, right? And similar way we'll do it for designation also. So what I'll be doing is, over here instead of this we'll put down this, and in form, instead of form control we should have form select, and this is good, right? Let me save this. So we are filling those from using view bag, right? View data, view bag, anything is fine, right? So ultimately this view data is also converted into view bag only. So I think this should work, or yeah, this should work. So our create get method seems to be ready, where we are, we are retrieving the necessary data to fetch the drop downs, to to fill our drop down, right? And the other thing, right? So here are the two ways. First, you can have the, you can have your drop down filled with either view bag, view data, or view bag. You can convert it into, you can bring the data anywhere, basically from service database, right? And this is the id and name. So basically this will be value for the drop down, this will be text in the drop down, right? And the other way is to, have a dedicated property like this available projects, right? And bring out the projects, and bring projects into that, and we will be using this property later on to display all the projects. First of all, let's see whether our drop downs are coming filled with these guys too, with these two values or not. So let's run this and see. Let's go to employees. Okay, so it resulted in error because again I forgot to register the services into program.cs. So let's close this. So let me go to program.cs. Let's go to quickly program.cs. Let's register our all services. So we have department and employee already in. We need to add two more. That is, this one is designation, and this one is designation, and this one is project, right? And let this be project. Save this. Let me just close this. We don't need program.cs. Let's run. Let's see. Now let's click on employees, add new, and we have the drop down. Remember, this one is static drop down, but we have values loaded for designation. Excellent. We have values loaded for department. Right. Now the next thing is we will bring down the checkbox, project checkbox over here. But before that, let's add default value to all these drop down like this select. Right. So let me open the Visual Studio over here. Let's quickly, since it's an HTML shell, I hope we can do it quickly. So I'll just make it select gender, and let's have this similar way for these two. So in within the select tag we will have to specify one default option. So this will be select department, right? And come over here, this will be select designation. Also, let's rename the column name to, rather than department id, make it department, and label designation. Save it and let's see. So we have select gender over here, we have select designation over here, we have select department over here. Okay, so this looks good. Now let's put down the project details. So somewhere over here, and later we will try to redesign it. So let me go to the checkbox guy. Okay, here after this label, let me put down one horizontal line, and let me just make a loop through these available projects. And what we'll have to specify, we'll have to specify name, we'll have to specify value, and we'll have to specify the id, right? Remember, every id for this particular listed project has to have a unique value. So this will be actually a project id in the background, and what we'll be seeing as a checkbox text is project text, right? So let's save this and let's see on the ui. Right, so we can see the details over here. We can see the projects now, project checkboxes. This looks good, right? Let's move ahead. Or maybe we can just take these projects over here and keep the button over here. Let's do that. So let's realign our controls. So instead of having these, we will remove it from here. We will add these as a dedicated div only over here, right? And we will have to apply these classes to this guy. We will remove this empty class, and I think we'll have to add that empty over here on the checkbox because it is not aligned properly, right? So what is the problem over here? What does it say? Attribute is already class. Now we remove that, right? So this is good. Now this will also be a, okay, it is missing one more d closing tag. Let me put it down, control kd, save it, and let's see how does it look like now. Right, so excellent. So projects, we can see it over here. We have this is active also here. Let's is active, take it down further. So I think MT2 did not work well. What we'll be doing is we'll make it MT4 so that it shifts a little bit somewhere over here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, now it is good, right? So the form is designed, it designed good. Let's try to submit value. Let me put down the debugger on the create post method, right? So over here let me put down this, right? And let's try to take some value over here. Let's mark this, let this time part time, let it be this. Let's take any date, let's take any department, let's take any date, let's take any, let's mark these first two guys, right? Let's say create, and it is submitted. Let's see what do we see on employee. Sometimes it takes time to load, debugging, right? Okay, here, so we over here project id, we could see now the selected project ids. You see, we can see 1 and 2, remaining values are already coming, so that is good. Now the next thing we want to do is over here have the code to save this project employee and project details, right? So let me stop this, right? So let's go to the I employee service first. Instead of this employee, it will be employee create VM. Let it be emp, and let's, I think it's VM, right? So first thing is this is good. Let's go to employee service and let's implement this as employee create VM. Let it be employee. Let this go, mark this public, and let me copy paste the code. So let me explain what we are doing over here. So in the upsert employee, we are beginning a transaction, right? Now we are doing this because we will have to make sure that we are creating the employee also and it project detail also. Both operations should be success, right? Otherwise, either it should be one of these. Either both should success or both should fail, right? So if employee is inserted and if there is an error on this, then employee should also be reverted back, right? And if employee is inserted successfully, this is also done successfully, then we are supposed to commit the transaction. Otherwise we are not supposed to commit the transaction, it would be rollback, right? So we are, the database operation method is ready. Let's call it to the controller. Okay, let's work on the post method. So here what we are supposed to do, underscore employee service dot upsert employee and pass this guy VM, right? And it has to be integer 32 id is equal to something like this, right? Right, okay, so what is the problem over here? Let's see. Argument I employee service. Okay, what do we have it over here? If I say F12, it is not going. So let's see. Let's go to okay, can't navigate. That's okay. Employee service. So we have upsert employee that has this VM. Do we have the same upsert employee create view EMP? Yeah, same. So we don't seem to have any problem over here, right? This is good, and it has to be a public method upsert employee. Okay, good. Now what is the problem over here? Okay, create was the problem. My bad. And it's upsert employee. So we are saving the employee detail now. In case of the employee data is not saved or passed, basically there are validation error or something like that, right? So we will have to make sure that the drop downs are filled every time. So what do we need to we need to repeat this code in this, right? So if anything goes wrong, this is repeated. And where why, what is the problem? Okay, because we already have one input over here, so I'll just make it one, right? VM1. So this way the drop down should be filled. If we don't do this, if there are any validation error, the drop down will be wiped out. So that is the reason we'll have to put it down this over here. Let me, yeah, debugger is in place. Let me put down one more debugger over here as well, and let's run this. Let's go to employees. Let's go to add new. Okay, the form is loaded. Let me put down some values over here. So let me take some which I have not used. I think everything is used only. So let's try, let's say my favorite cricketer Sachin Tendulkar. Let's say Sachin at the rate gmail.com. Mobile number anyone 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Gender, let it be male. Address, let's say Mumbai, Maharashtra. Full time. Salary, let's say 12,000. Birth date would be, let's say, take today's date and just change this to 1980 something. And okay, joining date would be, let's say, any date in future. Department, let's say anything, human resource, and maybe human resource department. So let's say designation senior HR, let's say. Now let's select this first, third, and I think a fifth project, and let's submit it. So I think I have the debugger over here. Okay, excellent. And let's try to debug it once so that we catch the error. In case there is any error, we catch it in one go only. So let's go ahead, F10, and let's say the inputs over here. So we have this project ID. Okay, we have rest of the values. Okay, all good. We don't require available projects while submitting, right? Because they are list of project. We are more concerned about this selected project line. So let's say F10 model is valid. From here we'll do F11. Let's say F10. Okay, so it seems to be resulted in error. Let's see what is the error. It says connection is closed. Okay, so while working on connection, I believe what we are supposed to do is we have to open the connection explicitly and close it. So let me go over here where transaction is equal to begin transaction. This is good, but let's see. Let's put down this line over here. If the DB state is closed, then make sure to open it, and then only transaction will work. Let's run this again. Let's go to employees, add new employee. Let's try to create Sachin Tendulkar's record one more time. Mail, let's say full time. Address, we had Mumbai, Maharashtra. Okay, I think it is gone. Mumbai, comma H. This is good. This is good. Let's take this today's date and just change this to 1980. I don't know exact date of Sachin, but let's do it. Let's take one more date. Select any random designation. First, third, and fifth, maybe. Let's say create. Let's go to Visual Studio. I think let's debug further. Okay, now there is no. Okay, let's move to the DB operation class. Okay, it is going good. Employee insert, upsert. I hope we had the same SP name. Okay, excellent. So we have the new employee created. I think let's see. Okay, six. Let's see. And we have three projects in already. So one, this is good. Two, this is good. Third one, this is good. Commit returning employee ID. Excellent. Here we have the six, and let's say F5. So we have the sixth employee added over here, right? And let's go to details of it. We already have worked on detail screen. Let's see what do we see for Sachin over there. Excellent. So we could see Sachin's detail. We could see the project selected as in over here. Let me go back to list. Sachin's records looks good. Right. So that's it in this video. So we have completed the create operation, right? And let me before we call it a quit, let me go to add employee and let's say the create. So we have validations also, right, in place. Let's say if I put down salary as 0 because we have range validation over there also, right? So salary must be greater than 0. So salary was marked required and it has to be greater than 0, right? It cannot be 0, right? So that validation is firing up, which is good. This is also good. Everything looks good, right? So validations are also working very nice. Let me go back to list, right? So that's it in this video. Create functionality is working very nicely. In the next video we'll work on the edit screen. Basically we'll work on this edit guy, right? So I hope you are enjoying this video series. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot, guys.